But we start with the vice presidential debate. We're a little more than a month away from Election Day. Both VP candidates sharing the stage tonight for likely the only time. Good evening, everyone. I'm UQ Washington. We've been in the newsroom checking claims from both candidates throughout the evening. A rather cordial evening it was. CBS Philadelphia's Dan Snyder joins us now with more on tonight's debate. Dan, good evening.
Hey, Yuki, and you said it there, probably the most civil debate we've had since I'd say 2012, maybe. And right off the top, both candidates were asked about the escalation we saw today in the Middle East. Iran launching around 180 missiles into Israel, raising the possibility of war in the region. Each of the running mates made the case that the tops of their tickets are best served to bring stability to the Middle East.
What we've seen out of Vice President Harris is we've seen steady leadership, understanding that our allies matter. When our allies see Donald Trump turn towards Vladimir Putin, turn towards North Korea. When we start to see that type of fickleness around holding the coalitions together, we will stay committed.
When did Iran and Hamas and their proxies attack Israel? It was during the administration of Kamala Harris. So Governor Walz can criticize Donald Trump's tweets, but effective, smart diplomacy and peace through strength is how you bring stability back to a very broken world. When was the last time that an American president didn't have a major conflict break out? The only answer is during the 4 years that Donald Trump was president.
Both men were asked how their administrations would handle some of the top issues facing voters. On immigration, Vance was asked to explain how they would carry out Trump's promise of mass deportations of illegal immigrants.
I think the first thing that we do is we start with the criminal migrants. About 1 million of those people have committed some form of crime in addition to crossing the border illegally. I think you start with deportations on those folks. And then I think you make it harder for illegal aliens to undercut the wages of American workers.
Democrats and Republicans worked on this piece of legislation. The Border Patrol said this is what we need in here. These are the experts. But as soon as I was getting ready to pass and actually tackle this, Donald Trump said no. Told them to vote against it because it gives him a campaign issue.
On abortion, also a key issue for voters, Vance says the decision should be up to the states, while Walz says a patchwork of laws isn't good enough and called abortion health care. The two were also asked about some of the gaffes and misspeaks made on the campaign trail. Governor Walz most recently said he was in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square protest, something that's been contradicted by media reports, while Vance was asked about his past criticism of former President Trump as recently as 2020.
I will say more than anything. Many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us.
Yeah, when you screw up, when you misspeak, when you get something wrong and you change your mind, you ought to be honest with the American people about it. It's one of the reasons, Margaret, why I've done so many interviews is because I think it's important to actually explain to the American people where I come down on the issues and what changed.
Going back to how cordial this all was, overall, both of those candidates really kept their attacks to the tops of the tickets, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And while the moderators limited their fact checks during the broadcast, our CBS News Confirmed team was busy all night. You can find those fact checks on our website, cbsphiladelphia.com. Yuki?
Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. Dan, thank you so much. You saw the debate right here on CBS Philadelphia. A critical part of battleground Pennsylvania was watching very closely. CBS Philadelphia's Siafa Lewis has that part of our coverage tonight.
Yuki, we were at a pair of debate watch parties tonight in deeply divided Bucks County. These are partisans, each supporting the two vice presidential nominees. We'll start with how supporters of the Trump-Vance ticket believe Ohio Senator J.D. Vance fared in this debate.
I think it's going very well. J.D. Vance is a man of the people. Straightforward answers to questions. I think he's doing really well.
I think if the moderators would stop cutting him off, he could answer his questions a little better. But I think overall he's doing very good.
Not surprisingly, at the Harris-Walz watch party, the debate was seen quite differently. Here's how some in attendance thought Minnesota Governor Tim Walz fared.
I think any debate is difficult. I think he's sticking to the topics and he's talking about things that are important to Pennsylvania voters and lots of Democrats, so I'm pretty happy so far.
I think he's faring very well. You can see that he's giving honest answers, but I think he's faring very well.
It may change a few, but probably not. Mostly it's Trump-Kamala is the main, ticket.
Undecided voters are a tough nut to crack, right? They can swing one way or the other for small reasons or for very large reasons. So I think that staying true to what we're interested in, making sure that women have choice, and making sure that we're interested in rising the tide for all Americans.
Now, in the days to come, we'll see ratings for this debate to see and gauge voter interest, as well as a slew of new polling to see if it moved the needle at all. In Newtown, Siafa Lewis, CBS News, Philadelphia.
The presidential candidates spent their evening in battleground states Pennsylvania and Wisconsin tonight. Vice President Harris spoke to our sister station in Pittsburgh. She reiterated her stance that Pittsburgh-based U.S. steel should not be sold to a Japanese company.
From a national security perspective, it is important that we have U.S. manufacturing of U.S. steel. When I think about the importance of supporting U.S. workers and U.S. steel, it is through the lens of not only what we should do to protect that workforce, but what we should do to protect U.S. and American interests.
Former President Trump visited Milwaukee, Wisconsin this evening, and earlier in Dane County, he spoke about Iran's attack on Israel.
As you know, the world right now is spiraling out of control. I've been talking about World War III for a long time, and I don't want to make predictions because the predictions always come true. We're not going to make, but they are very close to global catastrophe. We have a non-existent president and a non-existent vice president who should be in charge, but nobody knows what's going on.
Both presidential candidates will be back on the campaign trail in battleground states tomorrow.